A reading from the Gospel according to John, chapter 12, verses 1 to 11. 6 days before Passover, Jesus came to Bethany, where Lazarus was, whom Jesus had raised from the dead. They gave a dinner for him there, and Martha served, while Lazarus was one of those reclining at table with him. Mary took a liter of costly perfumed oil, made from genuine aromatic nard, and anointed the feet of Jesus, and dried them with her hair. The house was filled with the fragrance of the oil. Then Judas the Iscariot, one of his disciples, and the one who would betray him, said, "Why was this oil not sold for 300 days' wages and given to the poor?" He said this not because he cared about the poor, but because he was the thief and held the money bag, and used to steal the contributions. So Jesus said, "Leave her alone. Let her keep this for the day of my burial. You always have the poor with you, but you do not always have me." The large crowd of the Jews found out that he was there and came, not only because of him, but also to see Lazarus, whom he had raised from the dead. And the chief priests plotted to kill Lazarus too, because many of the Jews were turning away and believing in Jesus because of him.
Christ utters these significant words, "The poor you always have with you." He does not mean by these words that changes of social and economic structures are not important, and that we should not try different ways to eliminate injustice, humiliation, want, and hunger. He means merely that man will have needs which cannot be satisfied unless with help for the needy and by sharing one's own goods with others. Of what help are we speaking? What sharing? Is it only a question of alms, understood in the form of money, of material aid? Certainly Christ does not remove alms from our field of vision. He thinks also of pecuniary, material alms, but in his own way. More eloquent than any other in this connection is the example of the poor widow, who put a few small coins into the treasury of the temple. From the material point of view, an offering that could hardly be compared with the offerings given by others. Yet Christ said, "This poor widow has put in all the living that she had." So it is, above all, the interior value of the gift that counts. The readiness to share everything, the readiness to give oneself. Let us here recall St. Paul. "If I give away all I have, but have not love, I gain nothing." St. Augustine too writes well in this connection. "If you stretch out your hand to give, but have not mercy in your heart, you have not done anything. But if you have mercy in your heart, even when you have nothing to give with your hand, God accepts your alms."